Why would you go from that to that? What's the advantage? Well, look at that. I stopped a little premature. I just got an overheating E09 warning. Hey everyone, welcome to Chasing the Kraken. I'm Jordan. So it is coming on winter here in Alberta, Canada, and I wanted to follow up on a little project I did at the end of the last season. I went from this stand-up Vevor heater to this. This is actually a Vevor heater and a cooler. And I'll kind of explain why I did this little upgrade, quote unquote, and then I'll get into a little bit more about how it all works and everything. Primarily my goal is to circle back, fire this thing up. It's been sitting in the garage all summer, and see how it runs and do a bit of a, I guess, retrospective. Do I think it was worth it? Would I do it again? What are my plans moving forward? And why would you go from that to that? What's the advantage? I'll tell you a bit of my logic. Is last year I was in an ice fishing tournament, and I'd actually lost a piece of wire off of the heater and lost my fuse. And we were in a bit of a hurry. We were trying to heat up this guy's truck, and long story short, I was fumbling to connect the heater, and I connected the poles opposite, and I fried the board. So what that meant was having to do a full rebuild. And I thought, well, hey, if I'm going to replace the wiring, I might as well try my little project here and put it into a cooler. It's hard to find a tote or a cooler that is a perfect size match for one of these things. It's hard to beat the size. And, what are the advantages? And part of my thought is that I could then run the heater outside of my tent, and therefore I wouldn't have that ticking noise. I didn't have to worry about upgrading to a silent pump or anything like that. And, worst come to worst, I could still run it inside, and it would hopefully cut down on the noise. So let's get this thing fired up and see how she works. The first thing I want to point out is I'm actually running my exhaust through the propane port in the back of the tent. This is a Cabela's 7.5 or 7x7 insulated wide bottom tent. So it has a propane port, and it's almost perfect. So what I do is I have 3 layers of a soldering cloth that I've wrapped around the exhaust, plus a little bit of tape just to hold it all together. And it's actually, even at running at full speed and full power, it's warm to the touch but not hot. So it's been working great for me the last couple of seasons. On this guy, I bought one of those, hopefully you can see it, I bought one of those nice stainless steel sort of adapters to go through a through wall connector. The idea is that it doesn't heat up the plastic around it, because it's got a little bit of an insulated barrier in there. So this guy connects to the back. Disadvantage number 1 is that now my exhaust line is not angled downwards. It's actually up, has to go up a little bit and out, which means that as moisture and condensation builds up in that exhaust, it doesn't drain out. So I'll have to elevate this in order to make it work. Now, out on the ice, can I throw some snow under it? Absolutely. Is it great that I have to now add that? Well, not ideal. So here's what it is. What I did do is I added this is an XT60 connector. So all my batteries now have XT60 connectors, which means they'll handle 60 amps of current, and I can't get them backwards. You can only put them on one way. I've been running it on this. This is a Time USB 12.8 volt 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. The sucker will run it for quite a while. It's got a lot. I may end up upgrading to a 100 amp, but for right now this will work. Power button's on the bottom. We have a little bit of diesel in there. The line should be still full. You can see there's empty space in here. Theoretically, I could probably put that battery in there. Could I wedge it in on this side? Yeah, theoretically, I'd have to rearrange a few things. So I did buy this off of Temu. This is a, just says air quality detector. I'll put a link to it. But this one will detect a bunch of different air qualities, one of them being carbon monoxide. So we'll plug this guy in, probably keep it actually fairly low. Sounds like it caught. You can hear the clicking from the motor or from the pump. So even being inside of an insulated cooler, it hasn't really gotten any quieter. And I can feel the warmth starting. It's -3 degrees Celsius right now in the old ice tent. It's running well. It's a little bit quieter, like a little bit quieter, but you're never going to get rid of that tick. Honestly, last year I found that if you threw a shipping blanket or something over top of the heater, most of the ticking sound went away anyway. Assuming that everything goes to plan, would I do it again? Well, I probably wouldn't, to be honest with you. Number one is I wanted to change. I really like those the smaller, like the kind of the lower form factor heaters. So the reason why this one's built like this is that the heater is down here, and then the fuel tank is actually up top. Whereas the shorter ones they're wider because they have the heater and then they have the tank next to it. So that's really the only difference between the two. I'm glad. I mean, I needed to replace the wiring anyway because of my bad decision to hook up the connectors the wrong way. But that versus that, it's a hard sell. I mean, I think it's a cool idea. I got the cooler for free. Someone was giving it away. I really wanted to, I 3D designed most of my own adapters and everything, so that was kind of just fun for me. So would I do it again? Probably not. And so what's my plan going forward? I'll probably either take this heater and put it back into this case, or I may keep it if I can find a use for it. Otherwise, I may end up if I need to get another one, rather than rebuild this one, maybe I'll get a second one for whatever reason and get one of the side-by-sides, like the lower profile ones. But that's the deal. So let me give you a last little pass through around the old heater. So again, these are all PETG. They're 3D printed adapters that I've designed. So that's the outflow. It's sized to connect the exhaust tube. It's pretty much the same as the front. Here we have our little control panel. We have an air intake vent there, and I think I angled it so they didn't get snow in from the top. Over here we have another air intake. Just so we have good airflow going through. And then we have our exhaust plug. So we've been running it for the last little bit. So CO2 has crept up to 560, 575 it's saying. But carbon monoxide is still at 1 parts per million, which is well within the healthy range. So no issues with exhaust leaks. Everything works fine. I'm pretty happy with it. But like I said, I'll probably go back to a normal layout. My obsession with trying to shoehorn one of these guys into a tote, it was cool, but I don't feel the need to keep going. Well, look at that. I stopped a little premature. I just got an overheating E09 warning on this guy. Typically that means is that the unit is running hotter than it should. It doesn't have enough airflow, something along those lines. So yeah, even more reason to convince me that this is not a good setup. Probably outside it might be better if it was running in the cold air and all that. Might not get that type of warning, but just to be 100% honest, that's a flaw. All right, I guess I'm moving back to a normal heater. Okay, we have it outside now. We're firing it up. It's 12:52 in the afternoon, and we will see how long it goes and if we get another E09 error. Okay, so the heater's been going outside for, man, it's now 1:15, so just short of an hour really, and let's see how she's doing. Still chugging away. It's -4 outside. Obviously it's not warming up.
Stop heating.
So we'll power her down. But good to know. The overheating is probably just a factor of being inside of a warm tent. So this mod, I'd either need better airflow or keep it outside.